Good morning. It's 9. I wake up around 8. I used to wake up around 7, and then daylight savings happened, and I was like, this is a scam. I'm not adjusting my behavior fit that society wants. So now I wake up around 8, but it's 9. I'm going to work out. For people who ask how I keep my red hair so vibrant, it's because whenever I wash it, which is every like 7 to 14 days, like once every 1 to 2 weeks, just whenever I need to style it, I add red into my conditioner. So just a quick show of basically what I do is I'll take this conditioner, this Olaplex conditioner. This is a leave-in conditioner, or this is some intense conditioner. I take that, I mix it with the normal conditioner, and I use a lot, I have a fuck ton of hair. And then I also take whatever red dye I'm using. This is just one from CVS, but like I prefer the Pravana Vivids. They have like a really good bright red. And then whenever I am like conditioning my hair, sorry, I'm out of breath because I just like walked from my laundry, like I walked down the hallway, I'm out of breath. I put this into my hair, I leave in for like 10 minutes, I'd say 10 minutes minimum. It's probably shorter, but like I feel like it's 10 minutes. And then it will oxidize over a few days. And if I notice that my hair is fading and it's turning like orangey copper, I will just put red in before I go to bed. Like I'll just fucking take the dye. I won't even dilute it. I'll just like rub it on my hair. The dye itself is it's literally just tinting your hair. It's not like lightening it or doing anything damaging like bleaching necessarily. So like I just do it every time I condition it. And then I have these the really, really light hairs that are so short. They fade the fastest because they're just the most porous. But that's how I keep it bright. I feel like if you have color in your hair, depositing it into your conditioner can be a good way to refresh it between washes or during washes. It's 4 p.m., which means night is upon us and beautiful sunset is here. I need to go downstairs and pick up my laundry. So before we do that, let's just enjoy sunset because by the time I get back up from carrying my laundry, likely this will be dark. Actually, let's see. Doing laundry in my building is not that bad, I guess. Like it could be worse, but schlepping, like the amount I pay for this, I wish there was an obviously in unit type situation, but I mean, it is what it is. So I look like a wet dog because my hair takes hours to dry, but we're gonna go downstairs and get my laundry. I was afraid someone would be in here, but we're good. I just made all my 2023 videos public, and then I realized this earlier, that like 4 of the videos had the exact same length time. I didn't really think anything of it because usually I somehow talk almost the exact same length for every sign, but I didn't think much of it, and then all the comments were like, bro, all these are Gemini. So apparently my editor accidentally uploaded Gemini like 5 times or 4 or 5 times, and with the thumbnail of like Capricorn and Aquarius. So I just made all the videos private and was like, sorry guys, they're not ready yet, like we have to fix this. It's the weekend, so I don't know if my editor's gonna be online, but like, sorry guys, I did not she uploads all 12. I don't run through all 12. I run through the edits before she uploads, but when she uploads, I don't run through them because no. That's not my task right now. But like that was so sad. I was so excited, and I was about to go get my nails done as like a little bit of a reward for all the work of basically like when I have all the videos, I don't edit them, but I have to be the one that puts in all the data. So I don't know if I can actually get my editor to do this, but I have to put in hashtags, title, description. 12, that adds up being like, oh, like that's like some tedious work. That's the kind of busy work that I can't outsource. I can't outsource that. Like I can't outsource TikTok editing. Like I have to do that in app. So I was just really sad because I was gonna go get my nails done knowing I had done all that, but like I'm gonna have to redo like a third of it. It's fine though. I'm still gonna go get my nails done because I have an hour before they close and I want a mani-pedi before I go to LA. I got my nails done red and black, so like every other is red and black. I just went and got them done. And it was I felt kind of bad because on my toes, the woman doing, we're not gonna show feet, but basically, maybe just toes. Well, basically I felt kind of bad because I said I wanted to do black red every other, but she thought somehow that meant like big toe black, all the rest red. So I had to like correct her at the end. Anyway, I had a really nice walk like back from my nail salon place, and I thought about how living in New York is so cute because every single person on the street has a different story. Like I saw a man walking with a big bouquet of bright yellow roses. Maybe there were other yellow flowers. They look like roses, whatever. We're gonna do skincare. And that just was so, like, I had a little, I don't know if it was humbling, but a cute moment of how he's getting those for someone. And I don't know who that someone is. And the people who are like running back with takeout, like I wonder where they're going. And then all the delivery guys, there's like a fuck ton of delivery guys always all over New York because like obviously, like I just wonder where they're going. This is a horrible angle, Jesus. Given that I need to pack for LA, because tomorrow I have an insane day. I wake up, I have personal training, I then have literal calls all day. I have 2 podcasts in a row. I'm going on Guys We Fucked, and also, that'll be funny. Like, who am I going to talk about? The random ass boyfriend I had in high school? Like, who am I going to, but I don't know, I've never actually listened to that podcast, but I agreed to random shit. Like, I agreed to be on H3 thinking it was just like another, I literally did no research before going on to fucking H3, which if you didn't know, you can go find it, where they interrupt me nonstop and deny basic things about their life that I see in astrology that are actually true, but they like denied it. But I agreed to this one because it seemed nice and people have asked me to go on it before. And then afterward, I'm going on the Neoliberal Hell podcast, like whatever I forgot the name of her podcast, maybe it's just called her username. I fucking love her and her account, so I'm like really excited for that one. I literally go on the back-to-back. I go from like downtown and then I drive like up to go film with them. So they're all in person because fuck Zoom shit. Anyway, I want to talk about my favorite astrology placements because this will be a long-ass intro. But, okay, hair everywhere. Jesus Christ. I did a video on placements I think are mid, like a year ago, and somehow it still blows up, and it's really stupid, and people take it personally. Maybe I've done a video on like my favorites, but not a good one with like the placements. I mean, everyone knows at this point that I get along. Oh my god, this thing, so I don't even care. I love it. Like with me, whenever I'm out with friends, they're like, "Oh, make sure the picture's good." I'm like, I don't give a shit. Literally, my whole life is online. I look like shit online all the time. It's past the point of no return in a funny way. Like I'm fine with me. But I want to go into specific placements. I think everyone and their mom knows by now that I get along best with Cancer and Scorpio in general. But that applies to specific placements. So I'll start with the rising sign. So this, we'll just get into it. For one, I get along very well with Libra risings because I like keeping the peace. I do not like disruptors. If you're someone that's like really entertaining and you just like let it all loose, I usually like you at like a dinner. But actually, as friends, I get a little bit nervous around you. So usually Libra risings are the opposite of that. They're really socially smooth. They don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I get along well with you. I also love Leo risings because I love people who think they're the shit, but aren't disruptive with it. Like, there's some rising signs where I feel like they're more willing to be that one who's just like spilling tea and being messy. Leo rising isn't messy. Leo rising is the center of attention, but like, I'll let you be that. That's fine. You can, yeah. So I get along with Leo risings just because they're very generous. They're usually very creative. They're very inspiring people. I also get along really well with other Capricorn risings because we're just also serious together. And with Capricorn risings, oh shit, where's my like identifies like. Like I just fucking know when you have trouble smiling, but like we get along and we vibe. I go along with Capricorn risings. I also like Scorpio risings because I can tell that things mean a lot to you. I can just tell that things mean a lot to you. I'd say actually my favorite rising sign is probably Scorpio. Like if I had to pick any. I was waiting for when I wanted to say it, but I feel like I'll just say it now. I get along very well with Scorpio. Obviously I get along with Cancer risings because I get along with Cancer fucking everything. I'm just going to put out flat out statement that I get along with nearly everything in Cancer. If you have a Cancer Mars, that's the one thing where I'm like, okay, we can work with it. But it's not like a placement that really gets me like really, I don't want to say gets me going, but like I work with the best. But Cancer risings, I get along well because you're like soft and squishy and sensitive, and I am also sensitive but like hard. So we balance each other out. Scorpio risings, I just like it because you're actually mysterious and intense. I pretend to be mysterious and intense by having an overt blood splattered shower curtain. I'm not actually serious or intense. I don't shut the fuck up, and I'm a lot. For sun signs,
And if I don't say your sign, it doesn't mean I don't like you. It just didn't come to mind. So you can take that even worse. Maybe you want me to say I don't like you. Maybe that would make you feel better. For sun signs, Cancer and Scorpio, again, very, very well with Cancer Scorpios, especially Cancer suns. I love Cancer suns because I feel like you just light up me feeling safe. I like the moodiness. I like the, like, people complain about Cancer guys a lot. So many of my good friends are Cancer guys. I fucking love it. I just like I would rather have someone who's too needy and checks in a lot rather than someone who is very independent and avoidant like me. And I think it just works well with Cancer placements. Scorpio placements, I also really like the intensity in general, so Scorpio sun. I like Capricorn suns a lot because I feel like you all are a little bit more, like, my Capricorn rising definitely puts on like a show in the world of being really hardworking, and I am really hardworking, but Capricorn suns are like no questions asked, no credit even. Like, you all just really, usually you put your money where your mouth is with your actions, and I appreciate that. So I like Capricorn suns a lot. I'd say I like Libra suns too. I get along with Libra pretty much anything as well because I just feel like you keep the peace. It's hard for someone not to get along with Libras. You might not like them because you might feel like they're fake or petty. I don't. I know what it's like to be like, please, everyone just shut up and be happy. So I like Libra suns a lot. I get along really, really well with Libra. Like I said, everything. For moon signs, this is where people get a little bit shocked because I openly like Gemini and Sag moons. Gemini, Sag, Aries moons I do like. I'm gonna sit over here and go through my laundry right now because I need to pack for LA, and I did laundry today and I didn't go through it yet. So I have a Libra moon. I get along very well with the unhinged moon signs. I just don't want your behavior in the external world to be unhinged. Like, if you emotionally are a little bit, like, you like the crazier things in life, but you're not doing that outwardly, that's fine with me. I think that's kind of cute if you're like a normal person in real life, but then like internally you have a really dramatic inner world or something. So I really like Leo moons. Leo moon might be some of my favorite placements because I feel like internally you just are so robust and have such a playfulness and a drama to you, but you're not always attention seeking. This is my heater. I'm cold. So I like Leo moons a lot. I also like Sagittarius moons and Aries moons. I love fire sign moons, actually. I feel like the internal inspiration and creativity is really heartwarming, and a moon sign that's in fire doesn't mean you're actually spontaneous, because like moon signs, I don't think that, like, it's not going to translate to your direct behavior. It's going to be more your emotional nature. So sometimes people with a lot of fire and other placements are a little too spontaneous for me. Sometimes I'm spontaneous in some ways, but some ways not. I have like categories of that. I like Leo moons a lot. I like Aries moons a lot. Aries moons make me feel like a kid, and I like that. So I get along, actually, now that I think about it, I get along pretty well with Aries moons. You're very different than me as a Libra moon. Like, I definitely don't have the impulses of an Aries moon to just randomly do things. And also with Aries moons, I know that your behavior is a little bit childlike in the sense that your motivations are very immediate and not complicated. If you have an Aries moon, I don't overthink your actions. This is something that's come up time and time again, where for certain moon signs, such as myself, as a Libra moon, you can overthink my actions. Like, you dead ass can, because you know the amount of thought that went into that was like severe. It was not oh, let me just do what is like Neanderthal in this moment fun. Like, no, there was a lot. And with Aries moons, it's kind of like, no, they literally just like responded when they could and they did whatever. Sagittarius moons, similarly. Sagittarius moons I like because you have this internal optimism that really makes my day without being the outward optimism of some other Sag placements, which, like, stop saying I hate Sag. No, I just openly don't have nearly anything similar with Sag or Gemini placements. And the people who are like, in the scenario, do I fucking look? No, I know. Whatever. It would annoy me also being called a Cancer in any way. Like, I don't have any Cancer placements at all, and I'm not Cancerian. How do I fucking lose socks? Every single time. I swear I cleaned the shit out of these. This is relentless. So I get along very well with fire sign moons. Gemini moons I get along well with. I wouldn't say that I have this like, oh, I really appreciate that, like with fire sign moons, but I get along better with Gemini moons than I do with like, what moon sign? Like, I like you all, but like Virgo moons, I'm a Virgo sun, but Virgo moons, I feel like are trying to sometimes undermine me from the inside out, for example, versus I'm not. I have plenty of friends with Virgo moons, and like it's fine and dandy, but like Virgo sun I get along better with in that way. Now if we go on to Mercury sign, I have Mercury in Leo. I fucking love Mercury in Leos. So some of these placements are going to be similar to mine, obviously. I love fire sign Mercuries. I think Aries and Leo Mercury might be my favorite because I love very direct, very concise speakers. I would rather have you be offensive, politically incorrect, out of line, but concise and direct with what you're saying than say all the right things, be incredibly kind, but take too long or be windy. So Leo can exaggerate, but Leo is generally like, I'd say that there's a lot of good discussion online about being skeptical of people that talk quickly and intelligently. Like if you're eloquent, be skeptical. As someone who is eloquent, like be skeptical of me, yes, because I can just like ramble off. I can literally sit here and talk about something in astrophysics or biochemistry. I have no verbiage but I know if there was a gun in my head, I would have a fucking the rhetorician in me would just like come out and I could talk for days. I think Leo Mercury is definitely compulsed to come to that, but I love the storytelling. I dead ass, like if I'm out to dinner with you, you can make up the entire fucking thing. If I have a good time, you're a fun time in my book. You can tell me the craziest fucking stories. I think it's because in my life there are actually a surplus of insane stories because I refuse any day to be average, normal, mediocre. It literally does not happen. Yeah, I refuse. Like there's some things in the universe that I have a difficulty having the mindset of. Abundance mindset, a little difficult. And I used to think I was good at it. I'm not. I just had a mindset of like, if I grind, whatever. The mindset of having an interesting life, that is one that I innately accept, and that's just understood by me. So Leo Mercuries, I think, get that. Aries Mercuries get that. Gemini Mercuries, you talk very quickly, and I appreciate that. Gemini is also the home sign of Mercury, so like I just appreciate planets in their home signs. Generally, whenever a planet is exalted or in its home sign, I'll give you props. In life, I'll just be like, yo, you killed it with that. And so like, even if our charts aren't getting along that well, I'll appreciate you for having that exalted or domiciled planet. Because having a planet in its exaltation and its home sign is the strongest. Miss me with like you, no, it's the best, it's the strongest. And I don't have any planets exalted. I have Jupiter in Pisces, but Jupiter is like not reflecting my behavior. So I'm not saying this because I'm aggrandizing myself or anything. For Mercuries, I like Aries, Leo, Gemini a lot. I like Libra Mercuries. I wouldn't say you're my favorite, but I do appreciate Libra Mercury's ability to smooth and like sweet talk. Like I said, if you can basically convince me, if you can woo me, you could be fucking like, you might be a horrible internal person, but I will appreciate the external, and this is the Libra moon in me. I'm just like, as long as no one's fighting, we're all good. For Venus signs, and I like Virgo Mercuries. Virgo Mercuries I feel like can be really serious. So I would say that even though Mercury is in better condition there than anywhere else, because Mercury in Virgo is both in its home sign and exalted, I would say that I would take like an Aries Mercury over a Virgo Mercury just for the fun. For Venus signs, I love Libra Venuses because I like the androgynous refinement of Libra Venuses often. This doesn't mean that if you have this, you have to be androgynous or something, but I just find if you have Libra placements, Libra, Venus, or Mars, often you do lean towards something androgynous or just like playing with mixing masculine and feminine. It's usually really beautiful. I love that shit. I also love that Libra Venuses tend to value aestheticism in everything. Like everything is a fucking aesthetic choice and I love it. Like their life is just so Venusian. Libra is ruled by Venus, so having Venus in its home sign is lovely. Can hands down say Libra Venus, definitely my favorite. This one is actually a debilitated placement, but I actually like it when someone has Venus in Scorpio. That is squaring my natal Venus in Leo. So it's not, I'd say, the most directly easy, and I can tell, but I like people that are like that do or die intense. And it's out of respect. It's not out of like, oh, this is easy for you versus me. Because I know that with my Leo, I might be more outwardly like showy, dramatic, playful, but people with actual Scorpio placements, you're the people who actually feel shit. Like I'm the one who, like I think it's even like a little humbling for me to acknowledge that in a way, because I often feel like I could never be with anyone because no one's going to care about me the depth that I would care about them. And maybe in some aspects this is true because I feel like I would go all in with the commitment and the loyalty, but I know with someone with Scorpio placements, like the depth of their soul would bind to another soul with more depth than I probably could. So having Venus in Scorpio, like, I really appreciate that. I prefer Mars in Scorpio. I'll take Mars in Scorpio any day over Venus, but I do like Venus in Scorpio just out of my own respect, even if it is a more challenging placement. I like Venus in Capricorn. I think Venus in Capricorn is great because I have a Capricorn rising, so it's like you value what I look like. But especially if it's 19 degrees. Just kidding, half kidding. But Venus in Capricorn, I like that you are generally very business focused and very grounded. There's something like, I think it's really hot when, these are not my pants. What the fuck? These are not mine. Why? I didn't take anything out of this is a joke. Someone put pants. If this is you, I'm not going to say my building. I'll just go put them back in the laundry room. I knew it. I was like, why? What is Navy doing in here? But Capricorn Venus, it's just like kind of hot. I think the energy is just hot when someone is like very serious about what they value in a very dry way. They tend to have a good sense of humor too. I mean, I like Venus in Pisces. It's a great placement for Venus. It's exalted. You're usually nice people. We just don't usually have like an attraction, I would say. But I'd get along with Pisces placements, nearly everything. There's little ever spark or even like action in any way. Like with me, it's like I can say these things that are romantic. It's like never. Actually, no, my high school boyfriend was a Pisces. I think he was. Yeah, he was a Pisces sun, Leo rising. We got along very well. Or no, Leo moon. I don't remember what rising. I think it was a Cancer rising. We got along very well, but with Pisces, it's like we're never gonna have any issues or anything interesting. In general, of course, maybe you are the outlier that has some other shit in your chart. For Mars signs, definitely my favorite is like Scorpio or Capricorn Mars. Dignified Marses, I really like. I have Mars in Leo, so Mars in Scorpio is in a difficult aspect to my natal Mars, but I like that. With Mars in Scorpio versus my Mars in Leo, there's a little bit of a power dynamic in the sense that like my Mars in Leo is very much like with all my planets Leo, the show, the outwardness, I find that shit so fun. I was like 13, 14, writing fan fiction about Harry Styles, knowing like I just wanted the story to be perfect. And not necessarily, I didn't even care about like it happening in those, I just like the story and the aesthetics and everything to be perfect and dramatic and like lovely. Mars in Scorpio was like, fuck what it looks like, give me your soul, like that kind of thing, which I'm like cool with. I just know that I probably seem very surface to these people when in reality I have other things in my chart that are a little bit, like I have Venus trine Pluto, which helps with like intensity. Venus and Mars trine Pluto actually. But I love Mars and Scorpio people because you're like the most intense, committed, do or die, and it also means you can be fucking vengeful. If you feel like someone has betrayed you, you're like killing them over 1,000 times. But in general, Mars, I also like Capricorn Mars. It's exalted. I love the work ethic of Capricorn Mars. I feel like you all are just so dedicated to your work in a very proficient way, and you're not over the top. You're just slowly and steadily, like, I admire that a lot. I admire a lot of Capricorn placements a lot for that steadfast nature. What other Mars signs do I get along with? Mars and Aries, I just like dignified Mars energy because I'm pretty Martian or Saturnian, you could say, with my actions. So I feel like having a dignified Mars helps you not be a baby and helps you like not be a bullshit individual with like, I was gonna make like a low test joke, but I'm like, that's just not even that relevant here. But I do think that's an ongoing issue in the world. So I think with Mars, my favorite is probably, I'd say Aries actually, because with Aries Mars, it trines my Leo Mars, even though it can oppose just like a late Aries Mars. Because if it's too early in Aries, then it opposes my Libra moon, and that's a little bit scary. And then I'm not going to get into Jupiter or Saturn placements because I don't really care. Those are not inherently as like personal behavior related unless it's in aspect to your Venus or whatever. I personally like having strong Saturn between me and someone else regardless of what kind of relationship, because it just shows seriousness and being on like the same fucking page. And I like being on the same page. That's like important with me. Like I've said, my favorite thing in the entire world about someone is clear, direct communication. You could have the most Sagittarius and Gemini placements, and maybe we have nothing in common, and you are spontaneous, fun, overbearing, laughs at the dinner table, whatever, but you're direct and you're clear with me, we get along very, very well. Versus someone who maybe has Cancer or Libra, who off the bat I'm like, oh, this is my kind of person. Okay, my food is here. But I'm like, if you're not direct with me, I don't give a shit. Hello.
Okay, now to, I have this suitcase from being in Miami last weekend, but it's like all thrown up. It's all thrown around. I have a bunch of swimsuits in here as well. I guess I'll save those. But yeah, like I would take direct communication over like a lot of things. And the astrology will show that. Like when people ask me, would you date someone you have bad astrology with? It's like the astrology would show how we are bad or how we're good. I don't need to decide. Like I just date them and then the astrology is going to show me that I do that or I don't. So I don't think about that much because it's a redundant question that I think misunderstands the mechanism of astrology, which is cool. I like talking about astrology in a very philosophical way. But just so we're clear, like compatibility with someone shows you how you work together. It's not a yes or a no because it shows you like, oh, you might make a lot of money with this person, you might have a great home life, but there's not like sexual compatibility. Or it could show something like you end up being more friendly than you do involved. So it's not a yes or a no, it's a how-so. And there's some how-sos that are much easier than others, don't get me wrong. There's some charts where it is scary or it's just like openly toxic, but yeah. But ideally I would have someone with like Scorpio rising, Cancer sun, Leo moon, something like that. You could like switch it up too. It could be like a Capricorn rising, Aries moon, like Leo, like it could definitely switch it up because there's no one person that's like, oh, that would be perfect. It's mostly just overall energies that I would like. And I don't think about, like in my life, I think also what's different than some other people is that I don't see myself being like, oh, there's one perfect person for me in any circumstance, whether that is romantic or friends or anything. I see everyone as someone that I can learn from and therefore appreciate like all different types of compatibility or incompatibility with others. I have these thigh highs with bells on them and I always forget that I have them, but like I should remember because they're cute. So it's less about like the perfect match and more about my appreciation. Ooh, socks, found socks, sweet. Appreciation for different types of compatibility in different ways. So yeah, I don't believe in like there being one perfect sign for you. Do not ask me, this is my birthday, what sign, like for one, I need your full chart. For two, there's not like one perfect person that's going to be for you. It's going to be the how-so thing. I think my food's been out there for a few minutes now, so I'm going to go get that. If you're in New York and you want to know what the best salad order is, I would argue, it is the Westville kale salad. They have like multiple locations all over New York, so wherever you are, I assure you if you're in Manhattan, or I think they have Brooklyn. I feel like I'm in an ad for Westville right now. I tag you guys all the time though. If you're watching this, I tag you in my Instagram stories all the time because you have the best kale salad. There are a few things that I get in this order that make it perfection that I will elaborate on. The first is the health tea. I get it without honey since I'm vegan. Oh shit, literally this spilled, oh my god, this spilled everywhere. Like something is seriously wrong. Did the entire tea is gone. This is weird. The entire tea is in the bag. There's literally no liquid in here. There's barely any liquid. This is not the fault of Westville. They do a very good job packaging. This is the Dasher's fault. I'm not gonna leave a mean review though, because I bet he didn't do it intentionally, and I don't really care. I'm like, as a Maren, I'm really not a caring because I don't give a shit. Like, it's sad that this tea spilled. But anyway, so this is the first thing, is this health tea. I'll show you in a second. I'm not gonna get it everywhere. Is there an issue with, there's some type of issue. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, that's sad and unfortunate. I get the kale salad, obviously with no cheese. This kale salad has kale, walnuts, pickled onions, which are my fucking favorite. I love pickled vegetables, especially pickled onions. I will have that over kimchi any day. I love kimchi, the taste, but the texture is a little iffy. I like cabbage, but like kimchi, a little iffy. So I generally prefer pickled onions. I get it with no cheese, so it has like pickled onions, raisins, walnuts. It comes with an olive oil dressing. I don't add it. It's just like literally just olive oil. I don't add it. I don't feel the need to. I'm not anti-oil, just like I'm not anti-sugar. I just like don't add it to things if I can like do without it, because there's plenty of like healthy fats in here already. But if it was cooked in it, I wouldn't really give a shit. Like in the restaurant, they put it all together and it's fine with me. So that's just, I'm on neither side of the anti-oil train or the, like if you have any health preference, it's an eating disorder train. Like I'm in the middle where it's like I have things that I prefer, and then if I eat out, it's like not that big of a deal. But anyway, this is what this is basically. No cheese, and then I get the quinoa artichoke burger. This quinoa artichoke burger is so good. It's like crispy. It's just quinoa artichoke, like you can see. We're having a focus issue here. Quinoa artichoke burger, it's really good. And then this is the health tea that usually would be like up to the top. I get it with no honey, but then I'm a little bit extra because it's me. So we do a few things here. So firstly, okay, this is fine. We do a few things here. Firstly, I like to add Dijon mustard to a lot of things. It is the superior condiment. I stand by this. I add just a slight drizzle, a very slight drizzle to this. Not too much, but like enough so that you can really understand it. I also add 2 other things. I add nutritional yeast because obviously, and this seaweed gamasio. Last night I tried to say it was like furikake. It's not though, I don't know the difference. Someone who's educated in that, let me know. So I do nutritional yeast, and then I do a little bit of furikake, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of black pepper too. Because I add black pepper to like nearly everything. I just think it makes everything go better. This is a situation. Highly recommend this if you're in New York. Sorry, I don't like to do mukbangs because I think people chewing is disgusting. So I'm gonna head off to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's a busy ass day tomorrow, so I am gonna vlog literally the entire day, like what I do.